we can't. I don't get. This is going to be take 3 because I'm an incompetent fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast. I'm Vito D'Amico. I'm talking to Fred Martin, all the way from Paris, France, who is a singer, songwriter. He has a fantastic album called Little White Lies, and he's in a band called Me Versus You. And I'm not saying this to seem like a kiss ass. Please don't think that. It's a fantastic album. I really enjoy it. And how I saw Fred was through the Lalo Degache podcast. And I had no idea he was that talented to do this stuff. Not to say he's not talented. It's just, when people say, I have, hey, I got a CD. Here, listen to this. And you listen to it and you go, oh, geez, that was awful. I actually listened to this and the whole thing was tight. I'm going to put it up on the Facebook site. Don't take my word for it. Go listen to it. I guarantee you'll love it. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Fred Martin. Say hi, Fred.
Hi everyone. Well, thank you for the nice introduction and the kind words. I really appreciate.
This is like deja vu. Here, let's try it one more time because we were having problems with the sound here. I just want to make sure we get this because this has to. We're having problems with the sound. Fred, can you say Anthony K likes to touch his pee-pee at the zoo?
Okay, since Anthony is a smart guy with a sense of humor, I will say it. Okay, Anthony K likes to touch his pee-pee at the zoo.
That's fantastic. That's
okay.
It's like it's trying. He's like I've had easier times collecting money off of mobsters than trying to get a hold of him.
So you're used to having contacts with mobsters?
Yes, I really did. Actually, an uncle of mine, they wrote a book about him. This isn't going to be about me, but I'll let you know really quick. They wrote a book about him, and he had the same name, Vito D'Amico. He killed 44 men in Sicily.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was their go-to guy when they were like, you know what, somebody's got to get whacked. So they would call him up, and he would go deal with it. But they believe he killed a lot more.
Okay, so you're basically telling me that your name, which is like a typical, mafia name that we see in the Scorsese movie,
right,
it is basically a good illustration of the stereotype.
Yes, it is, because my name...
This is funny.
Yeah, my name is exactly the same as my grandfather's, who they thought... See, my grandfather and who I have the exact same name as my grandfather, I was born June 15th. My grandfather was smart. He said, name them after... Because there were like 4 sons, and you would always... I don't know how it is for you, but you would always name your son after your father.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a tradition from when I was a kid, too. And especially in Haiti.
Yes.
People don't do this anymore.
No, now... Fuck, my son's name's Sterling. Are you kidding me? They can't even pronounce that in Italy, They're like Sterling. Like what? Sterling Moss? Like what are you talking about, That if you see my family tree, it goes Guido, Pino, Antonio, Vito, Sterling. So
you know what's funny is that you have an accent which is like a mix of Italian American and Canadian, because you have this special way of saying about a boot, like typical Canadian, South Park.
Yeah, everybody thinks we're the. I love it when what's his Devin Tracy? He actually thinks Canadians are retarded, and he thinks we're like what are those 2 guys called? The 2 idiots on the 2 guys on fucking that show, the one you just said, the 2 guys, they're always farting. Ha ha ha!
Yeah, on South Park.
Yeah, on South Park, those 2 idiot Canadians.
Yeah,
they're always farting and laughing. Oh, I guarantee you, he thinks we're like that. Which when you talk to the Canadian atheist, you're thinking, yeah, they are like that.
That guy is retarded.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, Fred, I feel bad because, I think he's got a good heart. I do. I just think he just doesn't. He hasn't grown. He hasn't thought it through. Everybody's going. We got to be equal for everybody, but I understand that. But I think Anthony brought up a good point. Go see the world. Go see how the real world works. Not everything is what it seems until you go and look at other people's culture. Don't sit in your little home and think you're going to save the world. Don't sit around and watch MTV all day and think, yeah, this is the way the world thinks and blah blah blah. And I think actually the last talk.
But I think he has no excuse to be so dense because it's not like people haven't explained things to him like for so many times for months.
But now it's pride.
Yeah, exactly.
Now instead of being instead of just saying, you know what, I fucked up. Like, who saved face? Tried to. I still think he's kind of a fucking knob. The CJ, right? The thinking atheist guy. I think he's just kind of trying to save face when he says, you know what, I was wrong, which was really cool that he did to call Devin a racist.
Oh yeah, the other guy, TJ.
TJ, that's it. Not CJ. TJ. Everybody's got him. The amazing atheist there. He actually said, I'm sorry, which was, I thought, very big of him, but I didn't like the rest of the apology because it was kind of half-hearted. But the nut was, I do apologize. I've been called a racist. You were just discussing, I don't know if you want to say, but somebody said something awful to you, tweeted something awful to you, and it kind of threw you off, and it hurts. You don't just throw these words out.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the thing is, how I call him? I call him the idiotic atheist.
Yeah, he's lucky. That's what he is. He has what bothers me is he came in the right time at the right place. And what bothers me is when you have that, like if you had mega fans, okay, if you were huge and you had over 1 million followers, if people listen to me, who gives a shit what I say? But you're going to have people that are going to listen to you. And when you have 750,000 people that listen to you, it is your duty, when you call somebody an atheist, a racist, hey, you're making their life hard now, okay? Because your followers are going to just be a dick to this guy. I mean, I did the video about him not being racist because I was so sick of... I type in his name, and all of a sudden this racist shit comes up, and I'm thinking, nah, man, that's not right. That would really bother me. Like, I don't want people thinking I'm like that, and people need to stand up and get a steel spine and say, you know what, that's not right, man. Anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that was bad. That was despicable. That was a despicable thing to do.
Yeah, to do
from
that.
TJ.
Yeah, it really, really was, because I guarantee you, if TJ said he's a great guy, the amazing atheist, because he's a sheep, and several other people are sheep, will sit there and say, yeah, he is a great guy. He is a great guy, and he made it that it's kind of like your favorite. If there's a person you follow, as sad as it is, even if they say something stupid, you'll agree with them because you're kind of like they're your hero.
Yeah, to have TJ as a hero.
I know, that's sad because I've tried to shove a fucking banana up my ass, and I'll tell you something, Fred, it was awful. I did not enjoy it at all. My brother is gay. My brother's gay, and I said to him, I don't get how you do this shit, man. I don't get it. Oh yeah, let me just tell you about my name. Why my name is Vito D'Amico is because my grandfather said there were 4 other Vitos, and he told my mom and dad, he said, don't call him Vito. You know what you do? Whatever day he's born on, name him after the saint. So I was born June 15th, St. Vito's Day.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think my grandfather kind of knew something was up. So, anyways, but I want to focus in on you. Um, the cover of the album, I love of the Me versus You. Who came up with that cover?
Actually, it's a talented photographer
Oh,
in France.
oh,
Her name is Maude Verdier. She's a photographer. Um, I went through her portfolio, website, and her Facebook page, and we chose this picture with the band because we thought it was perfect. There's something mysterious about this picture.
yes.
It's actually a picture of a wall.
It's a wall. I thought. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was like above the earth, looking down at a mountain. Like, and then there's a desert on one side in the ocean. That's what I thought it was.
I mean, everybody has a different interpretation.
That's amazing. I had
And
no
this
idea.
is why we liked it.
Yeah, I
It's
had no idea.
just a
That's
picture
what it
of
was.
a wall.
I'm gonna put it up on the Facebook site. Guys, look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about. It is um, a beautiful picture. That kind of you look at it. Like, I'm a big Salvador Dali fan,
Yeah.
and I love looking at things and just thinking, it just kind of stops you in your tracks and going, things are beautiful. There's mysterious about there's something mysterious about it. But you remember that, Fred? Do you remember the
And
time?
this is why we chose it.
Yeah. Well, do you remember albums? You know why everybody had albums back? People that don't know, there used to be these big things called albums, where the band
Yeah.
would you'd have the band on the big album, right? It was about what would you say, about the size of a laptop, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the vinyls.
Yeah, the vinyls. So what you would do is get stoned and then listen to the album, but you would you hold the cover and look at the band, and just it kind of told you a story, So if you look at this album and you look at one of my favorite tunes is come to me again, come to me always.
Close to me always.
Yeah, close to me always. I'm so sorry. Close to me always. I'm just trying to memorize there was White Lies was cool too. There's so many songs on this album that are so tight that if you listen to it, you just sit there and go, how many times have you grabbed an album? You grab The Police, you listen to it, and you go, there's only 2 songs I really like on that album. But with this album, you could put on. This is a party album or any you could have sex to this album, where you could put it on and just leave it on, and from front to beginning. And I'm not trying to kiss your ass, Fred. I really am not. I really enjoyed it, and so did my daughter. I'm gonna share it with my wife. She's just been working a lot and just haven't had the time. But when I show people stuff, I don't like rushing them. I want them to sit down and just go, here, listen. You know what I mean? It's just. It's hard to
Totally.
it's hard to sit there and go, hey, I want to show you something cool, and they're busy. But once this calms me down, and I remember listening to it, and it kind of gives you I love having the beats. It has this style to it of there's everything from blues, rock to. It's hard to. It's electrica. It's electric in Europe. They call it electrica. I don't know how you would call it here, but
Well, it's basically a mix of rock and electronic music.
yes,
I mean, we listen to a lot of different things, from rock to hip hop to electronic music to trip hop, and this music is really a mix of all this, and we like the raw energy of rock music with the guitars and everything.
yeah,
And at the same time, we like to create atmospheres, and change the mood with electronic sounds and keyboards. So
yeah.
it's really an experiment.
But
Sounds.
I could tell you worked really really hard on the lyrics on this. The lyrics are beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it because a lot of people just listen to the music, you don't really pay attention, but really do.
No, I that's one thing that
Write my lyrics.
yeah, the
It's
lyrics are
important.
very important to me. I really enjoy the thought went into that. And you could tell you've been working on this for 2 years. You could tell that you guys have been working really hard on this. They're all. I love the album cover. So I'm gonna put it up, guys. I want you to check it out, and for a Christmas gift or just a gift, listen to it. It's out there. Please let me know what you think. I guarantee if you don't like it, Devin Tracy will come and stab you in the neck. Okay?
And yeah, about the lyrics, actually, people have asked me, what are the songs about? And for this album, it's actually, I wouldn't call it a concept album, but it's pretty close. The reason why the album is called Little White Lies, it's because I really wanted to explore the theme of denial,
Right.
a theme of lying,
Right.
how human beings have defense mechanisms that enables them to cope with reality while not facing it,
Right.
and by lying to themselves. And this is what it's about: little white lies, just to
Yeah, it's the same thing as a little lie turns into a big lie.
exactly. So this is if I realized in the beginning I was writing songs about people who were delusional, or people who realized they were being lied to, or who were lying to themselves too. And I realized that the word lie came up in a few songs, and I said to myself, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on the lyrics to have like a general theme to the album. And I
Right.
chose the title Little White Lies, and I wrote the rest of the lyrics after just two or three songs. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to keep this theme for the rest of the album.
Right.
So, and it wasn't difficult at all, because, the theme of, the truth, lies, denial, coping with reality and everything is so vast. You can write like 50 songs or 100 songs on this.
Yes, of course. And I think that what I love about it, everybody writes on what's going on in society and what's going on, and what I notice is that too many people are lying and getting away with it, and
Yeah.
we are too forgivable, where we just sit there and say, "Well, yeah, you lied, okay," and it's just a little lie. And I remember growing up, I grew up in the time when they gave you the strap, and people these days, I'm not trying to get all deep and everything, but I've got so many friends that are divorced in an unhealthy relationship. The ones that are together, they don't lie. Like Mark right now, he's home with his wife, and he's not lying, and I notice people that lie, the shit always comes back to haunt you.
Exactly. I mean, I can actually remember the last time I lied, the last two lies I told.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, this is true. It's from years ago.
Right.
And because this is something that I do not like doing. I don't lie to people, and I'll never. I'm not saying that I've never lied, because I have. But I'm saying is that in my everyday life, I try not to do it.
Right.
I try to be as honest as possible, which sometimes gets me into trouble, But especially with people that you're supposed to be really polite and hypocrite to. I'm
Yeah.
talking about sometimes even with friends or family relationships. But still, people know me, and they know that I'll never say stuff behind their backs, or I could, but it'll be stuff that I've already said to them, or that I will say to them.
See,
And so they know that when I say something to them, I really mean it.
right. See, that's the difference between me and you. I am an instigator. I will go behind the back. Like if I really hate the person, they finally know if I'm talking smack about them. but eventually it will come out. Like I'm very sarcastic, and some
Yeah.
people don't understand my sarcasm, which is the same thing with even Anthony's like this. I know Tracy's like this too. We're sarcastic people, and we have a different type of sense of humor. But if we call you out on your lie, it's like we don't hold back. Where these
Yeah.
days people will hold back. People will not say you're lying. People will say when we're talking about the uh, the atheist there. I think he's so deep into the lie that he can't get out of it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know.
A lot of people just want to save face. I mean, I don't care about saving face. If I say something stupid because I was uninformed or because I just didn't think about it, I'll just admit it, and the problem's over.
Yes, and that's very cool. That's what I really enjoyed your talk with Lalo Dagash, and I gotta thank Lalo about that. That was very cool that he hooked us up because I saw the talk you guys did, and I just thought very cool.
Well, the thing about this podcast with Lalo was that at first when he asked me, I was like, "Do you really want me to go online with you?" Because he just had people like Dave Rubin, Ali Rizvi, Mr. Dady, people that are a lot more famous than me and people that I follow, and he wanted to talk to me because he was convinced that we were gonna have a good conversation.
And I think that's all he cares about, and that's all.
Exactly.
That's all I care about too.
Yeah,
I want to have
was kind of surprised that so many people actually enjoyed it, and it got a lot of views, a lot more than I expected.
I know I got to put naked broads on and me shoving a watermelon up my ass, and I get 7 views, and then you and Lalo talking, you got thousands of fucking views. It drives me nuts.
This is funny because
you guys having a civil conversation, acting like normal people, and I got to run around shoving grapes up my fucking ass. Hey, never go to the border, Fred, and tell the guard you could shove 37 marbles up your ass. They don't like that joke. So I really enjoyed that, and I remember you talked about how in Haiti, where you came from Haiti, you came from a pretty wealthy family, but they were coming to kill you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
With a tank.
Yeah.
To tell that story.
Okay. So basically, my family was pretty powerful and wealthy in Haiti, and my father was into politics and very popular. He was the re-elected mayor of Port-au-Prince, and he was like probably next in line to be president.
Right.
And so after general elections that occurred in 1988. In which he got re-elected, there was a coup d'état, military coup, and so they came after the people who were the most powerful. So my father was one of them,
right.
And so they started shooting at us, with machine guns.
Jesus.
And there was a tank that was supposed to blow up the house, but the tank had a technical problem.
See, if it was German made, you'd be fucked.
Yeah. So basically, that's the reason why I'm alive, because it was already hard enough to dodge, machine gun bullets.
That is incredible. Like, that terrified. When I heard that, my legs buckled, because I just said, as if I had to get my children out of the house, and there's fucking people coming to kill me. They're bringing a tank to blow up the house to make sure we're dead with my children. Fred, I mean, I'm amazed your father didn't have a nervous breakdown or your mother completely lose it. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't know what's going on, But when you're an adult and you're in that, I mean, the pressure your father must have felt that people are trying to kill me is absolutely horrific, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it all happened so fast.
Right.
And so this, and it was really complicated because, we're in the house, we were being attacked. My mother had a broken leg.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so I don't even know how we managed to
I
escape.
that you know by the there's a saying, by the skin of your teeth you got out of there.
Yeah,
Um,
and so basically that's what happened. And then we had to go to the Dominican Republic's embassy to ask for refuge. And so they took us in. And for weeks, I mean, probably a month and a half or 2 months, I had to stay there, being basically locked up in the embassy
yeah.
before they finally uh, agreed to let me go and help me let me go to France to go live with my sister because I had to go to school.
Right.
And so this is what happened. There were a lot of details. Of course, we don't have time for that. At one point, they let me go, and then they made me come back for political reasons because they wanted to use me as for leverage to negotiate with the government because having the 12-year son of a famous guy
Right.
in an embassy just helps in terms of media and political influence.
Sure. Oh, for sure it would. But isn't that sad how people use others like that?
Yeah, I mean they used me to basically save my family. Yeah, but I was 12 years old. I didn't. I had nothing to do with everything.
And for me, see, I would be a very I'm bitter right now. Uh, you don't have a hint of that. You don't have. You're very, hey, well, c'est la vie, as they say in France.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie and tell you everything was easy because it wasn't. Because I had to leave my country. I mean, my future seemed really, really, bright in Haiti in the sense that as I was a pretty privileged boy and everything was going pretty well at school, even though I had a complicated family life. That wasn't always easy, but still, I consider myself very privileged because I come from a very poor country and I come from a wealthy family in a very poor country. So I consider, I think that I really won the lottery when I was born.
Yes, and that's a great way to think of. That's a great way to think.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna whine because I could be one of the poor people who died in the earthquake because I couldn't live in a proper house. I could be one of those kids living in the slums who basically live in shit in Haiti.
Yeah.
So I really won the lottery when I was born. So who am I to complain?
Yeah.
And so when I came to France, everything was not easy, of course, because I had to leave my family when I was 12. I had to leave my mother and my father, and I went to Paris, France, with the clothes I had on my back. I mean, that's all. I had nothing because they actually, after we left, they destroyed the house.
Yeah, fucking.
And they destroyed everything. Everything I had was gone. It's like I don't even know. Because I have a baby boy right now. I mean, he's 18 months old.
Right.
And I can see the resemblance, but I can't compare him with the pictures of me as a kid, as a baby, because I have none.
Right. Oh, that's awful.
And
my pictures are very hairy. I look like some type of. You ever see an orangutan playing with itself? That's kind of my baby pictures.
Okay.
That's I don't mind not showing people my pictures. My mother, she likes to show people my pictures. People come over and, what sucks is I was actually 28 at the time. So there's like these fucking nudes of me. My mom's showing everybody, me in diapers, and it was awful. But I know what you're saying, where you lose the history. If you ever get a chance, do you have any contact with aunts or anything over there?
Yeah, I do have contacts with my family.
Well, then why don't you say, didn't an aunt or a neighbor or
nobody? I mean, the thing is, all the pictures were in my house.
Right.
My baby pictures, for example.
Right.
And so everything got destroyed and burned. So basically, there's nothing. I don't have. I don't even know what I looked like as a baby.
Fuck.
And I mean that's okay. I'm not whining about it. It's just a fact. And so those kind
You know what you
of
do? Freak people out. Get like Tom Cruise baby pictures and show those off.
and so it's just
But
I'm
that
just
makes you a stronger person, Fred. That makes you the person that I hear. I enjoy listening to your Google Hangouts. I enjoy your interviews. That I wouldn't talk to you if I didn't. I just think, very intelligent and very artistic. And if that didn't happen, I think I don't believe in destiny. I believe that you make your own destiny, and you make your own. You do your own. You work at it. And there's some guys that fall on the ground, and I mean, I could have, anybody. You could easily been miserable and said, my family, we should have been rich. I should have had. I shouldn't go and work. I should, you could have been a miserable person. And instead, you said, you know what, I'm here. Fuck, I'm going to make my own. I'll do my own stuff. It molded you. I mean, the lyrics in the album are coming from your heart, coming from your soul, whatever you want to call it. It's an emotional thing.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, the thing is, about what you're saying about life being bitter and whatever. I mean, the thing is, uh, this is life. Shit happens.
Yes.
And when shit happens, you have to deal with it.
Right.
You can't just whine about it all your life. You just have to deal with it. And so I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else I can say, in a sense, that you just have to move on with your life. And I try to be, an honest and rational person as much as I can.
Right.
Of course, I have my flaws, just like anyone. But all my life experience, what I've been through, the fact that I grew up in, I have several cultures, the fact that I speak several languages and everything, and everything is a part of me, and so I'm pretty happy with that because it's just made me into who I am, and so that's okay.
Yes. And that I really enjoy that. I enjoy that when I watch, what's going on in the world, and you talk. There's so many people that. Again, I hate picking on them, but the amazing atheist, or the Canadian atheist, somebody like him who speaks and clearly has no clue what he's talking about, whereas you've seen the world, you understand it, and you kind of explain it your way, but not being a dick about it.
Well, the thing is, I can be a dick to some people too because they deserve it, Right. But it's not usually what I do. I try to,
yeah, there's a way of going about it. Like
yeah, exactly.
You could be nice and stupid too. You've seen Steve Shives.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect example, but I don't know if he's really that nice or just I don't care.
I think he's pussy whipped,
I don't
man.
care. I mean, the thing is, when we talk about people like Steve Shives, TJ, or Josh Banco, I mean, those people are YouTubers, and they mean nothing for me. They're just people filming themselves with a camera and saying shit, on YouTube. I don't really care about those people in the sense that, the thing is, a lot of people can take them seriously for some reasons. They have some kind of popularity, but I don't really care. I don't really have time to follow all these people.
Well, I love watching. Sargon did a great video of Steve Shives, and what I loved about the video was you actually see Steve Shives' manhood leave the room. Like literally, he's talking to his.
Has it ever been there?
Yeah, well, I think he did have some type of manhood, but like if a girl said to me, this is how it went. It was like he's sitting there, and his girlfriend or wife was saying how she hated his albums, posters or his comic books or whatever. And I was like, Fred, you got to see my porn stash, okay? If if my wife, like, I have to keep it locked up because if the kids find it, they'll ruin their lives forever. Okay. But my wife lets me keep it because she knows that's part of me, and that's just, I'm not going to get rid of my old magazines. You know, they're to me they're my childhood. You know, so she's sitting there and she's saying to him, you know, your albums are degrading women and blah blah. And he's sitting there, and you literally see his balls go up into his stomach, like he's one of these guys that pussy means the world to him because he'll never get pussy again. You know what I mean? So I my cousin's like that. When we were little, we'd always say once this guy gets laid, the first girl that opens up her legs for him, he's gonna end up marrying her, right? So I hope the woman's not evil. And Steve Chives ended up with this fucking evil broad that just, he people, the true colors came out where he's like, I'm not a man, right? I'm half a man because she's got my balls in her purse.
Yeah.
To be blunt about it. I mean, you gotta, when you have that, that's what I mean. I know you're saying you don't care. In a way I do. And like, because you've got a lot of people listening to you. If you didn't have a lot of people, I didn't give a shit. But it's the type of people that listen, and I don't get that. Like
I see what you mean. I mean, the fact that he has an audience, and so
you have an audience. Like, for fuck's sakes, like, be a man. Like, it's great to be a man. Act like one. Like, you use your real name, which I think is cool, and which I can't stand talking to people that have a stupid fake name.
I see what you mean.
It's very weird. To me, I find it weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know where it comes from. I think the problem is, okay, there are two categories of people. I mean, probably more, but I'm just saying, like, for instance, there are some people who protect their identity online because it can have consequences. I'm talking about really terrible consequences, like, ex-Muslims.
Yes.
Or people who live in the Middle East. And of course, it's the only way they can say things without being directly threatened. I will never blame them for that.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, of course. There are some people who do it for professional reasons. I can understand that, but, okay, I can understand that. But there are some people who like to say a lot of things online, even talk about really, complicated or really important matters,
right?
And who will not be held accountable for what they say.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird having a conversation going, yeah, Fred, Martin, what do you think? Oh, I think this, and then you go, Venom 22 fuckface. What do you think of the political fight in?
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And this is the problem because like I said, some people need to stay anonymous online for different reasons, because they fear for their lives, or maybe for really professional reasons. I respect that, but you have to know that if you want to talk about complicated subjects, if you are anonymous, you have less credibility, because it shows that you're not willing to state your name and put it next to your statements.
Well, that's why I have 10 times more respect for you. You have a band that, if I could totally love your music, and then I don't agree with you politically, I don't buy your music. And that can be detrimental to you and your bandmates, for your career, where that's your career. And that's why when Lalo Dagash gets upset for a Sam Harris that gets plastered by Cenk Uygur, who lies and calls him, wants to blow up the Muslims, and that is affecting your income. This is what you do.
And also the thing is, those people, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, or anybody who talks about really difficult subjects and uses their real names, those public figures. I mean, they put themselves out there.
Yeah.
They have the courage to do that, and so I have a lot of respect for those guys, and so when somebody comes to me, starts demanding justification for what I say,
right,
or starts insulting me, or using racial slurs against me, or whatever. I mean, why should I take this person seriously? Because everything I say, I can be held accountable for that. Because
right.
I mean, there's my real name, there's my picture, so I have nothing to hide. And not only am I a singer, I'm also a teacher.
Right,
and,
right.
I'm a teacher. I use my real name, so I have students ex-students who follow me on Facebook.
Right.
Some of them have found me on Twitter, and I still don't hide.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, and a lot of them, some of them are Muslims too. I mean, and I say a lot of shit about religion or Islam, in particular, and I don't care. I mean, the thing is, you gotta have the balls to basically put your name next to your ideas,
right?
Because when you talk about something important, this is how things move forward.
Right. And do you think that when people do talk, like when they say this is wrong, the big excuse that's going out there is you get slammed for being an Islamophobe or examophobe. I can't even fucking say the word. You see what you're talking to? You're talking to a fucking Canadian in fucking I'm in an igloo right now, freezing my balls off, people. Okay. Examophobe. You know what what's the word? Islamophobe.
Exactly. I mean, a word that shouldn't exist.
Where I could just, as soon as I say that to you, Fred, and I go, "You're a bigot, Fred, for even bringing that up," that fucks up the conversation.
Exactly. And the thing is, if somebody doesn't use their real names and hides behind a fake name and an avatar, just because they don't want to be held accountable. I mean, this is what happens. It has no consequence on them.
Right.
It has no consequence at all. So I think it's a little bit too easy.
Generation pussy.
Exactly. I mean, this is a problem. So I mean, of course, I'm not talking about everybody. It's not I don't want people to think that every time I see somebody who is anonymous online, I'm gonna call them names, call them pussies, and not be friends with them or whatever. It's not the case. There are some people I really enjoy talking to. I don't even know their real names.
Right.
But it's
hard though, Fred. For me, I find it very hard to have a conversation with somebody that I don't know. I mean, you could easily look me up. You know exactly where I'm playing. You could even come out and see me.
Yeah.
I'm not really that hard to find, and it's very weird to have a conversation with somebody that I don't know if you say you're 21 years old. You could be a 68-year-old fucking fat dude eating submarines in your basement. I don't know who you are. I visually I have to kind of see who you are. In my mind's eye, I've seen pictures of you, I've seen you talk, so I kind of visually have you in my mind. Now,
it's important.
if it was just a picture of a ketchup bottle, I don't know if I could really have an honest discussion with you.
I mean, we could have a discussion, but it wouldn't be exactly the same. This is what I'm.
Yeah, it would be kind of there would be these bumps on the way.
It would be like talking to a woman in a burqa.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that video? I saw it. I don't know who did it, but it was on. People just put up weird. It's funny. If I put up a thing on hunting ISIS, I'll get one like. if I put up a puppy jumping on an iPad, I get 67 people going, fantastic, I love it, I like it. You know, people are scared to fucking, they don't want to show. They don't, they don't want to, they don't want to show what they're, I don't want to offend anybody,
Yeah, a lot of people do not want to offend anybody. And also, I think what happened with Ben Affleck and Sam Harris was very, very toxic.
Yes.
Because a lot of people saw what can happen to somebody who criticizes an idea, just like like Sam Harris did with Islam.
But I'm glad it did happen, though, Fred.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened in a certain way, because we could see like the political ideology, in the differences of ideology between two sides of the left.
Yeah.
So I think it was really interesting, but at the same time, the bad consequence of that is that a lot of people who share the same ideas as Sam Harris will be afraid to really come out.
Yes.
Because they saw that a prominent atheist figure and an intellectual, who is a liberal, was called racist.
And did you see...
Was called gross and racist.
Yes.
Who wants that to happen to them?
Right. Nobody. And did you see... that's why, remember, I did the video on Devin Tracy just saying, not a racist. And, he didn't like the name it was called, but I did it. I changed the name. Because I did not want to offend him. I told you that. I did not want to offend anybody. That I was just sick and tired of people calling him. Like, if you look him up, holy shit, there's... I don't know if the guy took it down, but there's a channel, Atheism is Unstoppable 5, and they have, like, Nazi people marching and
yeah, I mean...
you know what I mean? And I was so sick of that, going, you fucking assholes. Like, how... Like, I know he's a tough guy, but you know what? When you poke at somebody like that, it does hurt, It would hurt me, just like, that would bother me. So that's something where I just said, whatever, Anthony just said, he didn't like the name, so I changed it. But it wasn't because I'm a pussy. It's just, I really don't want to put more fuel on the fire.
No, you just listened to what they had to say, that's all. Yeah. I mean, you respect the guys, so you listen to what they have to say.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, so many people are so irrational on the topics of religion and the topic of race. I mean, this is the thing. Those are topics in which people do not feel, for which people do not feel comfortable talking about, and because it touches something which is really close to identity. And also everything that has to do with irrational fears, especially with religion, which is completely irrational. And so when you start trying to have a rational discussion about religion, a lot of people cannot do that.
Right.
So they'll just get offended. They'll just use circular arguments. They will not address your points, or they can get emotional. And a lot of especially believers, especially religious people, they tend to have defense mechanism that protect their faith.
Yes.
Against any kind of rational discourse.
But I notice even people aren't even. I mean, there was a few people. Which I got to get off on my YouTube page or whatever. They'll have discussions with people who think the planet is still flat.
Yeah.
And, and they're like, Patreon me. And I'm like, Patreon you? You should Patreon me for fucking watching this. I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, Fred, I could go to the bus stop and find somebody who thinks Harry Houdini's still walking around.
People who think Elvis is still alive.
Yes, I mean, it's like watching somebody beat up a cripple. I mean, so what? I mean, there's other there's more important things out there than talking to somebody who thinks the planet is flat, for fuck's sakes. Are you kidding me? Who still believes that there is a God, and they have these weird circular arguments. It's like, those conversations. I think if Christopher Hitchens was alive, I think he would totally be outraged at how things have turned out. Sam Harris is a super nice guy, but he's not he's a very gentle soul. Like, he's just a gentle person. Where we'll get a couple drinks in him, and I think he'd fucking go crazy. But where Hitchens, he was just balls out. You want to go toe to toe. Yeah, like he was like he was like like a George Foreman. He come forward and not back down. He was like Smoking Joe Frazier, just constantly boom, 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 boom. So that's what I think that's the world. When we lost him, we lost. I think the world in general, not just atheists or the world lost big, because he would open up your eyes. He would keep us focused. Joe, I forget his name. Joe. He talked the other day. He has his own YouTube page, and
his name is just Joe, I think.
It's Joe. He said a wonderful thing, which I do. Which when he said it, kind of freaked me out. When he said, I listen to Christopher Hitchens before I go to sleep, and that's what I do. I just put on it doesn't put me to sleep. It just kind of calms me. To have such a confident man to speak so eloquently. It's kind of poetic coming out of his mouth. It seems like it's poetry. And it just puts me in this good mood because sometimes I look at the world and I think, we have not grown up. We are so petty and stupid, and people are fighting over stupid shit. I mean,
evolution is a very slow process.
Oh, fuck, is it ever? My wife's got a tail.
And it's not a linear process. So basically, I think that what happens is a lot of individuals just miss the train to the next stage of evolution.
Well, I think it's money, Fred. I think it all comes down to money. People like Aslan there.
Where's Aslan?
Yeah, that little toad, a Cenk Uygur, the people on that panel.
Regressives.
Yeah, but I'd love to see naked is not Cenk Uygur, but could you imagine Cenk Uygur naked?
I don't want to.
Eating a bunch of dates. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
You mean do not put images in my head?
Okay, all right. But think of Anna Kasparian naked. Hey?
I wouldn't mind.
She's got. I'm telling you, like something about her where I just go, you know what? Like the evil that comes out of your mouth, I'm gonna put some evil in your ass. Like I would totally just wreck that, Fred. I would wreck her. Where Cenk, I totally believe that Cenk used to be a normal person, maybe about 3-4 years ago, but once they signed with Al Jazeera, I think that puts money in his pocket, and you hear what he says about Sam Harris, he
was a genocide denier before he started his channel, so I don't think he ever had any kind of integrity.
Right. Yeah, Mark would say the same thing. Mark, he thought it was a great voice. I never really liked the guy because I always thought there was something weasel about him,
Yeah.
Just something about him where, to me, it just seems like he's purposely deflecting. I sit there and I think, are people really that stupid when they listen to this blithering fool speak?
That's the problem. A lot of people are, but they've been getting a lot more dislikes, more and more on their videos.
Hope.
Even their audience is starting to turn against them.
I hope, Fred, because it's pretty sickening to watch what they do, and it's like, see, I thought it would be a great thing if you got your own channel. Like if I had the money, I would do what they do. I really would. I would have like a little studio, a panel. I would have a segment called "Knife in Your Neck" with Devin on it, and then you could have your own little area where what you could have a conversation with you, what you think, and make it biased. Like make it where you tell the facts, I tell the facts, and it's up to the viewers to the viewers to come up. You don't. To me, it just seemed like these guys are blatantly lying, and it's kind of like it's so disturbing to sit there and watch and go, are people really buying this horse shit?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they have a platform, a huge platform to spread dishonest propaganda. And this is the problem with them. I mean, it's good that some people like Lalo and Devin are going after them.
Lalo's an animal. I fucking love Lalo. He is an animal. I wish he were to get picked up by a news media where they would pay him to say, we want you to, I would love to see Dave Rubin take him to the network with him and have Lalo work on these stories, because Lalo will find anything. Lalo found a picture of me naked with a fucking gazelle a couple days ago. I didn't even know. I mean, he could find, Lalo could find anything. He will find any dirt on anybody, and that's what he's a machine. So it's something that I really enjoy watching him go at it.
And he has a lot of credibility now because, despite having a new channel with not a lot of subs, he's had a lot of, really, important people.
Right.
And so so he already has credibility. So I'm sure a lot of great things are going to happen with Lalo.
I hope, because he deserves it. He works so hard, and here, I wanted to ask you just a few things, because I love, you don't mind if I ask you different things, do you?
No problem. Go ahead.
Okay. What do you think of Donald Trump?
He's like a cartoon character.
Do you know what he said, right? He said...
Yeah, he wanted to ban Muslims.
Right.
Well, the thing about Donald Trump is that he is so outrageous. He is such a caricature. I have trouble taking him seriously. I mean, the guy. I mean, I tried listening to an interview of his like 2 days ago.
Right.
Well, basically, a journalist was challenging him on what he was saying about Muslims, and God knows I hate this religion, and so I'm not the kind of PC kind of guy who will who'll defend Muslims or Islam, at all costs. I'm not the kind of guy, but but Donald Trump, there's no nuance, there's no depth, and there's no intelligence in his.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is with him? He made too many mistakes over the years doing that ridiculous show, saying stupid things, and he became a caricature. And that, when he gets in an argument with Rosie O'Donnell and calls her a fat pig, and you don't see too many billionaires doing that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So no one has ever said, if I saw you acting like that, Fred, I would go, Fred, don't speak. Stop speaking.
But it's working for him because, look, we are talking about him. And everywhere people are talking about him.
But I think that's what's hurting him now. People, when you thought he was a clown 5 years ago, you're always going to think that. You're always going to think, well, this guy... I saw him on A&E, and he was getting into a verbal confrontation with somebody, firing them, belittling them. And if he didn't do any of that, I think he'd be a lot more powerful.
Yeah, but the thing is, right now, I mean, it's working for him. Isn't he like the leader in the Republican Party right now?
Yeah, who do you think's going to win?
I have no idea. I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I used to be really passionate about American politics,
Right.
follow everything, but this year I kind of took a step back. I don't follow it as much as I used to. I mean, I do follow it, but really not as much. So,
Do you ever look at Hillary Clinton and think, you know, I mean, I would totally do her. I I would. I don't
no.
care. Just so people know. You know what I mean? Like like if I saw you at a party and you knew I did her, I'd wink at you and we'd laugh. Totally. You know for a fact you would because just something about her. Just I guarantee you there's got to be cobwebs up there, you know? There's got to be something because she's just Bill does not touch her. That's for sure. You know? There's just something about her that I don't know. I bet you she would just be a little. She'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really never thought about her that way, to tell you the truth. but
Oh, that's good. Make me feel like the weirdo.
I have no problem with that. Just.
Honestly, you wouldn't, Fred. Like you would never. Like if she just check it out, okay? Just picture this. You're playing downtown Paris, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they go, Fred. She just say she became president, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they go, Fred, you're not gonna believe this, but the president, Miss Hillary Clinton, would like to see you in the green room. And you're like, okay. You walk into the green room, and she's wearing just garters, right? And she's like, Fred, mount me now.
Okay, how did you get this idea? I mean, how did it come to your mind?
I'm a very lonely, disturbed individual.
Okay, so you're basically describing yourself as the weirdo.
Yes, this is what I think about. I would love that. That would be, and then you look over and there would be Cenk Uygur furiously masturbating on top of a keg of fucking Red Ryder beer or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, so is this the kind of stuff you talk about during your stand-ups?
No. My stand-up is usually, you would be a lot more angrier right about now.
Okay.
You would be going, so do we get our money back? Like what when's the show start? That's what I get. I get Hey, I get this. I go this is my favorite when I go, "Hey, you guys like impressions?" And somebody will always yell up go, "Yeah, do a comedian." Oh, it's my career's just rosy. But yeah, don't you ever think of crazy shit like that, Fred?
No, I mean, about Hillary Clinton, just never happened.
A woman
No.
with power, like you know who would be awesome? The Martha Stewart, totally. I would totally do Martha Stewart.
Okay. You're really talking about really typically like American references. For me, a Martha Stewart means nothing.
Okay, who is a powerful woman? When I mean powerful, I mean not big tits. I mean powerful woman.
I'm not really attracted. I mean, the thing is, I don't care about if the woman is powerful or not. Of
No?
course, if she's beautiful and smart, I mean, that's fine. But I'm not really attracted by women who are into politics, and specifically, some of them are attractive, but
Right.
it's not the fact that they have power that attracts me.
Really?
No, I don't really care about that.
I don't know. I just something turns me on about her. Just watching.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah. Just don't tell anybody. Just keep this between us, Fred.
yeah, sure. Nobody's gonna listen to this.
And then I wanted to ask you about do you I do a paranormal show too, and it's a silly show, but I really enjoyed when I was a kid. I was totally into monsters and are there such things as ghosts or anything like that? Do you believe in ghosts or the paranormal or anything like that?
No, I'm a real skeptic. I mean, in the sense that
That's great.
I do not believe in any kind of irrational belief or any kind of supernatural thing.
So you've never ever experienced a ghost or anything like that?
No, never. I mean, there's this joke. I don't know who did it once. And he said, "How do you know if your house is haunted or not?" And the answer is, well, that's easy. It's not.
Right.
so so basically, I don't, I'm a real skeptic in the sense that there are things that I know and things that I don't know, and so I don't have, I don't, I never, invent crazy stories for things I don't know or things that seems, inexplicable.
Like, do you watch scary movies? Do you like scary movies?
Yeah, I do.
Do you watch them by yourself?
Well, it happened to me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not?
So I can't, I don't believe the shit either, but I can't watch scary movies by myself.
Even in shows like The Walking Dead, I usually watch them by myself.
No, I'm talking about the horror movies, like where she gets possessed and shit like that.
Yeah, like The Exorcist.
Yeah, yeah, I can't watch that. I don't believe it, but yeah,
Massacre.
I don't believe it, but it just still fucking gives me the creeps.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I remember I was watching, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, the original one from 1974. I thought it was brilliant, and I watched it alone. I just loved the experience.
So what would you say scares you? Like would it?
Okay. When I was a kid, I used to watch David Cronenberg movies when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, when I was living in Haiti, so it was before I was 12 years old.
But is it? Go on. Sorry.
So basically, I was watching these movies from David Cronenberg, like The Fly, Dead Zone, what else? Scanners, stuff like that.
Yeah, Scanners was good.
Yeah, and so this is the kind of movies that I grew up on. So I never had nightmares about those horror movies. But the only thing that made me lose sleep for almost a week was when I saw this cartoon movie, Watership Down. What,
the bunnies?
Yeah, with the bunnies.
That is so weird. I was watching that the other day.
I saw this cartoon movie, Watership Down.
What, the bunnies?
Yeah, with the bunnies.
That is so weird. I was watching that the other day. That is so fucked up.
This basically traumatized.
Yes, it traumatized me too. The fucking crazy rabbits.
Exactly. I mean, those rabbits basically just killing one another.
Bigwig. That bothered me when Bigwig died.
And I don't even remember the details, but I remember the shadow.
Yeah. Do you remember the beautiful song that went with that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and the thing is, this movie I saw when I was a kid. A lot of kids of my generation saw it because it was supposed to be a kid movie. It was a cartoon with rabbits.
No, it was disturbing, man.
Exactly, and the whole generation was traumatized by this movie.
Every time I see construction, like I bought my daughter a rabbit. She wanted a rabbit, but whenever I see construction, I always think of the rabbits getting stuck in a hole. Like not breathing. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's horrible, and you're sitting there going, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, and all the blood for kids' movies.
I know.
So basically, I did not mind watching movies like The Fly or Scanners, where you could see somebody's head explode and everything, because it was part of a horror movie.
Right.
But having a cartoon with rabbits, this is like the kids' universe, and basically just tainting that.
Right.
I mean, that was horrible. I mean,
it's
this
like,
is the thing.
So what scares Fred Martin is rabbits and Anthony Kay and Devin Tracy driving a tank downtown, throwing Oreo cookies at people.
Where did you get that from?
Just could you picture that? Just that would just absolutely be terrifying.
Well, actually, okay, about rabbits, it scared me when I was a kid.
And do you see, when you grew up in Haiti, I would think they have a lot of ghost stories, or tell you about, the boogeyman, or
yeah, what? Of course. I mean, in Haiti, there's a lot of superstitions. There's food, and people believe in all kinds of supernatural religious stuff. But it never really worked on me. I mean, it's not, it wasn't really my universe.
Right.
So it never, I didn't really care about all this kind of stuff. For me, when I was a kid, it was all about my movies, my comic books, the music and stuff like that. And, and reading a lot of books and even encyclopedias. I was this kind of nerdy kid who was really busy doing this kind of stuff, and all the rest, I wasn't really interested.
Right. But ladies and gentlemen, we're talking. This is the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast. We're talking to Fred Martin, all the way from Paris, France. He is the lead singer of the group Me Versus You.
Yeah, you got it right this time.
Thank you. And the cover track, the cover title is "Little White Lies." Listen to it; it'll put you in a great mood. If you want to listen to a bad mood, if you want to get into a shitty mood, watch my look up Vito D'Amico on YouTube, and you will be furious. You'll just go, "Fuck, this is really a downer." But if you want to be happy, look up Fred Martin stuff. I'm going to put his stuff up on Facebook. You'll love it. I guarantee you, Christmas is coming. It would be an awesome gift.
Well, actually, we don't have the CD for this album because we chose just release it on iTunes, Bandcamp, and Amazon and everything.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But people can still buy it. I mean.
Okay, all right. That's the important thing. People could still buy it. That would be fantastic, and you could. I'll put up a link to the website, and check it out. Now, you're in Paris, France. The day after, I had to talk to Lalo Dagash, and all night Lalo was on Twitter, and I had to talk to him a day before, and all of a sudden, you know what happened in Paris?
Yeah, the Paris attack. Yeah.
So we were going
November 13th.
Yes. What was your initial? What was the initial thing going through your head?
Well, first of all, nobody knew what was really happening in the beginning because we heard stuff at the Stade de France while there was the match, France-Germany.
Yes.
And then I started hearing about people getting shot in Paris, and at first, people did not know that those events were connected, and so basically, I spent the whole night, on the internet and watching news channels on TV too, just gathering information, just knowing, trying to get the most information possible about what was happening, and and of course there was sadness, there was anger, and it's difficult really to express how we felt because Paris is my city. I've been living in Paris for 27 years, and I love Paris. I mean, this is Paris is one of the loves of my life.
Sure, of course, yes, of course. The city of lights, the city of love, right?
Yeah, I mean, some people do not like the city. I'm totally in love with Paris, and to see this happening, and at a place like for instance, the Bataclan, which is a place I go to. The last concert I went to was at this place.
Oh, fuck.
So I could have been one of the people at the Bataclan that night.
Oh, man.
And and we were planning on going there, not necessarily that night, but one night in November, and with friends. And
right.
So it really hit close to home because I realized that I could have been one of the people over there, and also to see people just having a good time at a concert hall or just at the terrace of a cafe, just getting shot by religious maniacs is so infuriating. It just drives me crazy. I mean, it's difficult for me to talk about it because there are no words to express exactly how I felt.
Sure, of course.
You see what I mean? I mean, I know that now, for instance, even more now, I have no patience for apologists or regressives.
Right.
No fucking patience for that.
And I don't blame you. I have no patience for it either. It's very, it's always, I remember somebody playing, John Lennon's. They were playing it the next day. Somebody went down there and they were all singing "Imagine the World with No Religion." I'm like, people need to get angry here. Like this is you need to say enough of this stupid shit. Like this should not have happened. You know. And I want to see Muslims more on the news marching and saying we're not with these guys. We have we have nothing.
All we get is a hashtag.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I'm not. I mean, there is a real problem that needs to be addressed, and a lot of people, you know, politicians or supposed thinkers, you know, are really hesitant. They just tiptoe around the real issue, and they don't want to address it for different reasons, because some of them do not want to be called racist. Some
Right.
of them want to, you know, politicians want to keep the Muslim vote. Some of them are, you know, do not want to offend. You know, some of them are just irrational or just ignorant. A lot of, you know, for instance, on Facebook, there was a meme that was circulating a lot by, you know, people who were basically quoting the Quran, verses that say, you know, the verse that says, I think it's 532 from the Quran that says, you know, when you kill a man, you kill humanity. Yeah, but the problem is that meme was made by apologists. You know, it's basically dishonest propaganda, because
Right.
it's the verse is cut. It doesn't say, you know, it doesn't give the context. It doesn't quote the whole verse,
Right.
which basically does not say that at all. And the verse after tells you how you're supposed to treat infidels by cutting their arms or crucifying them. And so I was so sick of watching people, you know, of seeing people on my timeline on Facebook, you know, spreading this and saying, "Oh, you see, the terrorists have never read the Quran."
Yeah,
And this,
neither of you. You know.
yeah, exactly, coming from people who have never read it. Otherwise, they would have known that the verse was not fucking complete.
Right.
And I thought I was so fucking sick of this shit. You know, when are people gonna learn? You know, a lot of shit is happening right now due to religious fundamentalism and due to Islam. And so, you know, if you want to talk about it, at least do some research.
Right.
You know, buy books or go use Google, whatever. But do not say stupid shit without fact checking. Because when you spread, you know, propaganda from apologists, you know, it creates confusion. It muddies the waters, and you know, and a lot of people are, you know, really confused and don't know what the fuck is happening.
Well, I think they know what's going on. They just don't want to. They just don't want to see it.
Yeah, and they have no excuse. I mean, this is 2015. Everybody has information that's out there. You just need to not be lazy, be intellectually honest, and go look for the information. I mean, that's all. You know, you shouldn't talk about things that you know nothing about, especially if you're going to spread lies.
Yes, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, and the fact that so many people refuse to see the link between ideas, you know, and beliefs on one side and actions on the other is so frustrating. I mean, it's in there. It's in the fucking book. I bought it. I have it at home. I read it regularly. I know what it's about. You know, and having some, you know, PC regressive dipshit, you know, trying to school me about Islam and saying bullshit when they've never opened the Quran. I mean, this is fucking disgraceful.
Yeah, and I think it's been how long has it been that this has been going on where innocent people have been killed in the name of stupidity?
For centuries.
Yeah, for centuries, and they always seem to go, well, you know, Christians weren't that nice. Yeah, but you're talking fucking 400 or 500 years ago, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, even now, there's a lot of reasons why you can criticize Christians. For instance, what happens in Uganda with the kill the gays
right,
law, and what happens, even in France when we have conservative Christians marching against gay marriage and and stuff like that. Of course, we need to still criticize those bad ideas from Christians. I mean, religion is a bad idea, period. So you can criticize every religion, but it doesn't. Just because every religion is fucked up doesn't mean they're all the same.
right.
Right now the main problem in terms of people getting killed is Islam. It's not Christianity.
But Fred, it's kind of, and I talked about this last time. It's kind of, they're getting people to believe in something that is absolutely insane. You
It
know,
is. Yeah.
it really is. I mean, if you think killing innocent people is good, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, something is you, something's wrong. Something's very it's disturbing, and that's what I don't get.
I mean, I think religious beliefs should be like any kind of you know supernatural irrational belief. It should be mocked, ridiculed.
Sure.
There should not be any respect for that.
All I
There
ask
should.
is, I would totally believe it if you just gave me any proof. Any proof.
There is none. They're
None.
gonna say, God works in mysterious ways.
Right.
You gotta have faith. The proof is in your heart. So, it's kind of bullshit that religious people say, and because they have no evidence. I mean, there's as much evidence for any kind of God as there is for unicorns.
Right.
So there is none. Every kind of evidence they come up with, it comes from circular arguments. So it's not evidence at all. And so about the bad ideas, I don't care if Muslims are a minority in my country in France. I don't care if they're oppressed in other parts of the world. I don't care if they're brown or black or white or yellow or purple. I mean, whatever. If you have bad, dangerous ideas, you need to be called out.
Right.
It doesn't matter the color of your skin or your ethnicity or where you come from.
Yeah, and that to me is, I don't get why people don't see that. I mean, if you can't play nice, you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, they want so much to be anti-racist that they end up being racist themselves. With the racism of low
Oh
expectations.
God, the women are the worst. The anti-feminists are absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, these people would fucking rape you. Like,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
they
I
would
mean,
make you wear like burqa. Like, are you crazy, broad? Like, do you not know what they would do to you? First of all, you to even talk would be a slap to the face, literally.
exactly. I mean, it's written in the fucking book too. It's like 434. The Quran 434, where basically wife beating is justified.
Right.
And so, I mean, when I see, this is like what happened to Mariam Namazi in Britain, and where she got, bullied and interrupted by Muslims during her speech, during a lecture, and there's this, what. I try not to even remember the name of the association, the feminists and the gays who basically sided with the Islamists, and and this is fucking disgraceful.
It
I mean,
is. It
I mean,
is
not
brutal.
it makes absolutely no sense. Basically, going after a woman who's really who's criticizing Islam because of women's rights, for example. If you're a feminist, you're not supposed to side with the with the Muslims.
And
You're
see,
not.
that's where I think the Islamophobes, the Cenk Uyghur, these fucking Reza, they all see this and they love it. They see the chaos of just stupid people and they go, I could feed these people all the bullshit on the planet, deflect everything, bring it back on them, blame them for our failings. It's your fault. You should, uh, Islam didn't fail you. You failed Islam.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's really bullshit, and it's like, okay, for instance, this is all part of those kind of people. Reza Aslan and Cenk Uygur, they exploit white guilt, yeah, which is really despicable. And it's like, okay, have you? I mean, of course, Majid Nawaz.
Yeah.
Have you read his book Radical?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I bought it and I've read it, and there's a passage in the book in which he explains, when he was an Islamist on campus and he was recruiting people, he explained how his organization, knowingly exploited white guilt.
Right. Yes.
They knew about, and those useful idiots let them do it.
Right.
And when you read the book, especially this passage, and you see that everything is calculated, they're really exploiting white guilt as a conscious strategy.
Good grief.
And you see those idiots falling for it.
I know. It's like you're getting duped, and there's a sucker born every minute, and it's we're the suckers.
Exactly. I mean, I have no patience or no tolerance for those kind of people. I mean, they're just too stupid. I mean, those people are dangerous. They need to go. I mean, they have to stop.
Well, I saw an interview with Anderson Cooper where he was sticking up for the Islamists, and I'm thinking, Anderson, I felt like I wish I was there and just go, Anderson, are you gay? And he would go, well, that's really none of your business. And I would just say, well, a lot of people think you're gay, and that's what they think. Now, over there, if you were to go to their countries, even if somebody were to just think you were gay, you would do a Peter Pan off a building, okay? Just for the thought of you sucking another man's penis, okay? So,
yeah.
You could stick up for them all you want, and you could, but what's going to happen is, instead of reading the news, fucking look at the news,
and look at the stats. I mean, the fact is, when you have gay liberals, basically defending Islam just because of their own privilege, white guilt. Okay, I'd like to see them go in a Muslim majority country and hold hands in the street with their boyfriends.
Yeah, try that.
Try that. Okay, yeah, and then come back to me.
Yeah, come back. Let me know how that worked out for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, those people are so fucking clueless. This is like this association that I heard about a few months ago, for gays for Palestine.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is this shit? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I love this quote by Douglas Murray, who said, "Okay, if gays for Palestine were in Palestine, they would move to Israel." And I mean, those people. I mean, do they have no survival instinct?
I think the thing what terrifies people is when they don't just talk about killing people or it's wrong, where Christians will say, two homosexuals together is a sin, you're going to go to hell. That's the word, and you're going to get chastised, and nobody's going to like you, and you could go on living. Over there, if you're gay, you die.
You need to learn how to fly.
Yeah. That's it. You better learn how to fly, because over there, I mean, I've seen a video where they went to a hospital and beat up a mentally challenged kid because his brother was in the army, fighting against ISIS. Yeah. And they found out, and they went and beat up on this mentally challenged person. And I just thought, fuck, man, you guys are crazy. Like, you guys are animals. Literally animals.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say because the level of barbarism,
I know it is, Fred.
I
That
mean, it is unspeakable. I mean,
yeah,
there are no words to describe that. You know, the rapes, the beheadings, the lynchings. I mean, everything is.
they're doing the pages off of Genghis Khan, scare them so much that they'll give up before we even show up. Put so
Yeah.
much fear into them. You know, and that's what they want. They want so much fear, and I'm glad France is bombing the living shit out of them, and Russia, doing their part. I think the United States ran out of money because they don't seem to have any more missiles left.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm not an expert on geopolitics. I don't claim to be, but and a lot of things probably that we don't know about what happens, behind the scenes and with people of power, but in power. But the thing is, of course, we cannot just not do anything.
yeah,
I mean, it's impossible to envision, just letting them, building their caliphate.
if
It's
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 if it's like Cenk Uygur, we'll just send them Rambo. No,
yeah.
and I was like, that's silly. The only person that can deal with this is Chuck Norris.
and and what and the problem is, okay, how do you fight an ideology? It's not okay. Okay, ISIS is called the Islamic State. Okay, and they control a country. I mean, parts of two countries, and which looks like a country. And okay, there's one thing. There's ISIS with their territory. This is one thing. Of course, they can be defeated. But the main problem, which makes it more difficult, is how do you defeat an ideology
Yeah, and
that's been around for 1400 years?
yes,
I
and
mean, this is the problem.
here's the bigger problem. If you were an imam, and over there, I guess that would be the priest or the teacher, that teaches at the mosque. If you're an imam and you said, guys, we need to relook at the book and not do these things, that person would be killed. You know.
Yeah. Also, yeah, and also the thing is, okay. For instance, what happened in California in the states last week? Sam Bernardino.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pronounce it well, but whatever.
San
In
Bernardino.
California, yeah, and okay. Basically, what they're saying is that it wasn't ordered by ISIS. It was not planned by ISIS, this attack, but it was inspired by ISIS.
Inspired. Even
But
worse.
yeah, for me, it's even worse
Yeah, that
because
is.
because if it was ISIS, ISIS can be defeated. But if we have in every country in the world thousands of sick extremist Muslims that do things because they're inspired by ISIS without even having received the orders. That's even worse.
Yes, it is. That's
There's no way to fight against that because those people can be your next door neighbors. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who likes to spread fear.
right.
I'm not Donald Trump. You know what I mean? I'm not a fearmonger, and
Right.
I don't feel the fear myself. I'm just saying this as a fact, in the sense that those people, they had jobs in the states.
They just had a kid.
Exactly, they just had a kid. I mean, nobody would suspect them, in the sense that they had good. I mean, the man had a good job, and he just had a kid.
Yeah.
So the fact is, if anybody could go on a shooting spree because they're inspired by the ideology, even though they have no official ties with the people in ISIS, this is even scarier, which it means that it can be anybody, anytime.
Yeah, and that is what what real horror movies are made of. Um, it's like this plague that infects the brain.
Exactly.
I don't know, Fred. That's where I just think I think of, and I'm with you. I'm not a person that knows how to figure that out. I look at it and I think it's great to beat the army, but you can't beat the idea, you know. And if people have those,
Exactly. I mean, this is the problem.
yeah, if you have those type of delusional, crazy ideas going through your mind, and I mean, if I don't know, Fred, if I said to you, Fred, let's why don't we go downtown with the machine guns, and just start shooting people? I mean, you would just sit there and go, have you lost your fucking mind? But if we believed in the Quran and we were told that, we're doing good and, I don't know, man. I just think that is absolutely
Okay.
sickening to say that.
I mean, do you know this famous quote by Steven Weinberg, former, Nobel Prize of Physics? Yeah, have you heard of him?
Yes,
Steven
I've
Weinberg?
heard of him.
And basically his quote, that's pretty famous. It says that, religion is an insult to human dignity because without religion, good people would be doing good things and evil people would be doing evil things.
Yes.
But in order to convince, good people to do bad things, you need religion.
Right.
Exactly, because basically those people think they have God on their sides.
Right.
And their side. I mean, this is, just like, people who say, I hate gays because, God hates fags.
Right. And that for me is, if there is a being out there, I don't believe it, okay? But if there is something out there, it doesn't need you to kill people for it.
Exactly. Okay? I mean, otherwise that it doesn't make sense with the concept of an all-powerful being.
Right. And for you to, as delusional as this sounds, what is it? It's 72 versions?
Yeah, 72.
Yeah, so you get 72 versions. That is in itself is perverted. Okay? I mean, I love getting laid. Okay? I really do. But if somebody were to blackmail you and say, you know what, you kill people, you get 72 virgins, I would sit there and go, am I dealing with the devil? Like, well, I'm not dealing with a god here. I'm dealing with a really bad person.
And the thing is, if
and go, am I dealing with the devil? Like, well, I'm not dealing with a god here. I'm dealing with a really bad person.
And the thing is, if the God, if this God truly exists, and he puts all this crazy shit in those holy books,
right?
And this God is not worthy of respect.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. If he put in those awful things, and to me, who put those in was the prophet put those in, because that's the only way you get people to follow him. If I sat there and said, you get what do I get? And I go, you got a tangerine and half a napkin that was used. You would sit there and say, fuck that. I ain't doing that shit. But if I go, Fred, you get 72 virgins, guaranteed, pal, you would, you're a horny kid, paradise, blah, blah, blah. That is a little more... it sweetens the pot, as they say, but for me, you gotta question yourself. That is complete and utter bullshit, because they're kind of telling you, kill yourself to get pleasure. Kill yourself because it'll be pleasureful. In the end, in the next life, it'll be nothing but pleasure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult because, I don't really talk. I mean, I do talk about religion, it's an interesting topic. But there comes a time when there's not much else to say. I mean, the fact is, there is no evidence, no theist has ever given evidence for their claims.
Right.
So basically, the conversation goes nowhere,
Well, it's a circular argument.
Exactly. And so... until the time when they come back with something new, some kind of, a shred of evidence.
Do you know what I think what will stop people from fighting and killing each other?
What?
I this is what I think, right? Because I think if Hillary Clinton were to pop up, no, if if uh, um, if aliens were to land, okay, I think people would give up on religion. Would just say there are aliens out there, and if the aliens were to come out and say, "Hey, no, we don't want to fuck up your culture. You believe in what you believe. We're just gonna, we're just letting you know we're out here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not gonna destroy." I really don't think aliens are gonna come and destroy the world because what do they want? Donald Trump's toupee. I mean, what the fuck would they want? So they would come down and just it'd be like, well, we're just here. We're letting you know you guys are starting to. You guys went to Mars, and you already have a few of your satellites out of your past Pluto, and we know pretty soon you guys are gonna have flight. You could go to maybe in a couple more years you get to see you could go to other stars, other galaxies. You found a way to do this, and I'm talking 100 years from now or hundreds of years. When they figured all this shit out, I think aliens will sit there and say, we're just letting you know we're here. So if you bump into us, you're not alone. And we're such arrogant specks that we think we're so important that we are the world and the universe revolves around us, and we all have a personal God. And you didn't know that, Fred? My God looks after me. I don't, you don't have a God looking after you. I have an angel, Fred, that looks after me. Okay? So if you get rid of this delusion and realize you don't got any of that shit, you got each other, and care and love and be respectful, common courtesy, for fuck's sakes, to one another, and you'll have a better understanding of the universe, of yourselves, a better environment. It's so easy, to wake up in the morning and be a jerk. If you want to be a jerk, the rest of your day is going to be shit. If you start off the day nice, smart, smile, be courteous to people, your day will go by a lot smoother. You get a lot more accomplished, and I think that's the only way humans will ever evolve, is when they finally, aliens, we find out that there really are aliens, and everybody just sits there and goes, my religion's bullshit. That was made up. Yeah, you're right.
They'll always find an excuse. I mean, the thing is, if you really have to wait for that, damn.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's what worries me. Like, fuck, you gotta wait for that. But
yeah, but the thing is, like I was telling you, the problem is a lot of people, even people who are not believers, still for some reason, because of cultural reasons or because of their parents or whatever, have some kind of respect or reverence towards religion. Yeah. See what I mean? Or towards people's beliefs.
Well, it's getting different. I remember when I was little, everybody had to go to church Sunday.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
my parents had a store that it had to be closed Sundays.
Mm.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that there are more and more people who don't believe, but at the same time, they still have difficulty to let go of the notion that beliefs, especially religious beliefs, deserve respect. Right. And for me, this is the problem too. As long as we have this reverence for ideas that come from old holy books that promote terrible things such as genocide, homophobia, sexism, incest, etc., etc. There will always be crazy people, who will use those holy books to do horrible things in its names, in their names, right. And so this is a problem. So the fact is, We need to wake up, have an honest conversation, and really acknowledge the fact that we need to basically stop respecting those beliefs.
Well, it's the same. Why is it whenever if you were to get up and talk, people would just, kind of listen. But if you had a collar or a cross and you held a Bible in your hand, all of a sudden people respect you more. And you could be the worst person on the planet.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, this is really going backwards because, in terms of way of thinking, because there is nothing to respect about faith. What is faith? Faith is
the most
basically a way to suspend critical thinking and believe things or pretend to know things without evidence.
Right.
It's not a virtue. There is nothing, that is positive about that.
Right.
And so basically, if some people still have the expression man or woman of faith and view it as something positive, I mean, this is bad.
It is. It's not a good virtue. It's a very. I see it all the time. It's just on the news they'll have, hey, give it up for Pastor Dave or whatever, and people really think he's a smart person when I'm thinking he thinks that book's real, right? Or to me, half the time I'm thinking he just doesn't want to get a real job. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's just peddling this nonsense. This faith is the most dishonest thing out there.
Exactly.
I have faith that the Leafs are going to win a game this year, but are they going to win the cup? Fuck no. That's I have faith that the plane is going to land in the airport. But
I try not to have faith, or for me it's pretty simple. There are things that I know, things that I don't know, and I don't mind not knowing everything. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
It's just because I don't know something, even an important thing.
But that's where you're okay with that. The problem is there's so many people out there that say, I don't know, so it has to be God.
Exactly. The God of the gaps.
Yeah, and that's what is, a mistake where, human beings have that mistake where I think since, the beginning of time when we first started walking around, we always needed something to look up to. Like, there's got to be a better place than this. There's there is somebody watching over us. It's like being a child and your parents are watching you. It's that safe feeling. Well, when you're an adult, you don't have that anymore, so you come up with gods.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's whatever. We could talk about it for so long.
No, I know.
Yeah, and it still would be pointless because we're basically talking about fairy tales.
Yeah.
And the fact that so many people, grown-ups, believe in fairy tales is so frustrating and sad.
Yeah. And what was it you were telling me before that? Before we wrap up, I just wanted to quickly, you teach and everything, and now I heard that ISIS was told to kill teachers.
Yeah, because ISIS released a statement, calling their followers to kill French teachers because we spread secular propaganda.
Gee, man.
So basically, I'm now an official target of ISIS.
That's just I don't know, Fred. That to me, it's just I don't know. I mean, it's demoralizing.
Well, but it was predictable.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't really think about it in the sense that, I have no choice but to live my life. I mean, that's all. What am I going to do? Worry every day?
Right.
This is pointless.
And but do you like it when? See, I like it when a guy like Devin Tracy spits back, where he just says, you know what, yeah, and I think that's why people really like him. I like him because he just doesn't. He doesn't sit there and say, "Oh well, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "Fuck you, come at me. Fuck you."
Yeah, he doesn't care about PC bullshit. This is
Yeah,
why.
and that's what I think more people need to be like that. That's the only way. We're just letting people walk all over us. You know.
Exactly. There's no. We need to stand our ground. People. We need to stand up for our values, and not, let them. I'm talking about the people who do not share our values. Basically walk over us. Yeah, right. You're right.
I think it's time to stand up and, enough of this bullshit.
Yeah.
So, folks, we've been talking to Fred Martin all the way from Paris, France. He's the lead singer at Me versus You. And,
exactly.
And he a really fantastic album. I'm going to put it up on the Facebook page. And Fred, anything you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation. And thank you for the kind words.
Oh, no problem. I was going to do this. Tell me what this sounds like. Vive le France. Oh, fuck.
Vive la France.
Remember Shives when he did that? Didn't you want to just punch him in the mouth? Vive la France. Shut up, Shives, you fucking loser.
Yeah, especially since he spent 8 minutes of a 9-minute video just talking about Muslims and not talking about the victims.
Yeah.
So this guy is a disgrace.
Yeah, let's find him and just beat the shit out of him.
He's not worth my time.
Well, I'd do it if somebody bought me the ticket. I really would. Because I think stuff like that needs to be taken care of. We gotta stop sitting on the fence. I hate fence sitters. And
yeah, so do I.
You need to pick a side. Pick your side because things are gonna get bumpy. And if you want to get stepped on, keep going the route we're going, and we will get stepped on. Me personally, I'm not going to get stepped on. Okay? So, folks, it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like us on Facebook. If you don't like us on Facebook, go fuck yourselves. It's been a privilege to talk to Fred Martin all the way from France, Paris. Thank you so much, Fred, for taking the time on this Saturday. Now it's nighttime.
Thank you for your invitation.
Oh, no problem, Fred. And I really enjoy your work. You know that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Goodbye. I'll talk to you soon. Au revoir, mes amis.
Au revoir.